At 11, the woman who says she uncovered evidence which may be tied to the firing of a longtime Horry County police officer is speaking to News 13. Thank you for joining us at 11. I'm Edward Moody. Trish is off tonight. This officer was involved in investigating a deadly September 2023 road rage shooting on Camp Swamp Road. News 13's Adriana Lawrence joins us in the studio and tells us what led to his exit. Adriana.
Well, Edward, just last week, Horry County Police terminated Patrol Division Sergeant Paul Vescovi. Since then, we've learned body cam footage shows what some say is the officer coaching the shooter, Weldon Boyd, to act like a victim. Here's what Chief Chris Lenhart said to me about Vescovi's firing just last week. Take a listen.
And when and how were you made aware of this misconduct?
I can't go into specifics because it is an ongoing investigation. I will tell you that we were notified, and once we were notified, we took actions moving forward.
So you can't say if that's happened in the last week, or give a timeline or anything about that? Just to provide transparency?
Again, that's a part of SLED's investigation. It's not part of Horry County Police Department's investigation.
Police reports state Scott Spivey and Weldon Boyd, along with his passenger, were involved in a shootout on Highway 9 and Camp Swamp Road. It was determined only hours later Boyd shot Spivey in self-defense, and Boyd was never charged. The Attorney General's office declined to prosecute Boyd because of insufficient evidence. Since then, the Spivey family obtained that evidence through a civil lawsuit against Boyd, which they and journalists from the True Sunlight podcast team have spent hours sifting through. That includes one piece of body cam footage Beth Braden found, where it shows Vescovi writing on his notebook, "Act like a victim, camera."
And I had to play it like several times just to make sure I was like, did I see this wrong? Am I imagining this? Is this actually happening in front of my eyes? And yes, it actually did happen.
In the video, you can see Vescovi show his notebook to Boyd and walk away. Spivey's sister, Jennifer Foley, says she was disgusted when her attorney, Mark Tinsley, alerted her of this footage.
You're coaching them what to say and how to act. And my brother is sitting dead in a vehicle 30 yards in front of you.
Mark Tinsley tells us he handed the footage over to SLED, who reported it to Horry County Police, who later terminated Vescovi. Horry County Police said in a statement law enforcement identified conduct unbecoming of an officer, but Braden says that couldn't be further from the truth.
It is very hard to trust the police when it looks like we're looking at a systemic cover-up here. And vague press conferences don't do anything to instill public confidence in a police department.
We keep being told, this is it, we've gone through everything. And then it's like, no, we're still finding things. And it really makes you wonder, how much are they trying to clean up their department, or are they just complacent with how it is?
Now, Horry County Police says it's conducting its own investigation and is cooperating with SLEDs as well.
Yeah, Adriana, you've been following this story for a while. This is not the first employee connected to this case to no longer be with the department, right?
That's right. Nearly 2 months ago, former Deputy Chief Brandon Strickland resigned when he found out he was being investigated by SLED for allegations of misconduct related to the shooting. Phone call recordings we obtained between him and his friend Boyd shine a light into that. You can hear for yourself and read all of our coverage on the story by heading to our website, WBTW.com.
All right, good reporting. Thank you, Adriana.
Thanks.
It's some of the most disgusting shit I ever heard in my life, family. Trailhand Bill reporting live from South Florida. I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. I usually say that to preface what I'm about to say so I can gather my thoughts. I use that as a kind of, fine print. I also want to say maybe simultaneously with this video, or maybe an hour or so after this video, I'll be dropping the Tyree Nichols video that I mentioned to you guys. If you've seen my last video, if you didn't, sucks for you. The videos will be up if you want to see them. And probably tonight or tomorrow I'll be re-releasing the Chad Mass video if you haven't seen that. I don't know what to say about this, and if you know me, you know I got a lot that I want to say, man. This is in one of those backwoods South Carolina towns. I'm from Georgia. Both places that I resided in Georgia as an adult and as a child, you can literally walk across the street and be in South Carolina. And not just in South Carolina, but in one of these backwoods South Carolina towns. I'm very familiar with it. Georgia has a lot of places like this. They're consistent all throughout the South, and there was not nearly enough detail in this video. So if you haven't heard about this story and you are interested in it and you want to know more, and I think people should know about this, man. I'm obviously going to leave the print article in the pinned comment and description, Lord willing, and there's a lot of detail there, a lot of posturing, but a lot of detail as well. And just a very unfortunate situation, man. Rest in peace, Scott Spivey, and all the names. 33 years old, man. I guess I'm gonna start by saying this, okay, because I don't remember them mentioning this in the video, but if they did, it doesn't matter. I'll rehash it. Allegedly, this was a road rage incident. Scott ran this coward and his friend. I'm going there. I'm calling him a coward off rip, man. The guy who killed him and his friend. Scott allegedly ran them off the road. And then this is another Ahmaud Arbery situation, just with different details in a sense. After the alleged ran off the road, which nobody, I haven't heard, I read a couple of articles and watched this video, nobody verified that but the cowards who murdered this man. They began to pursue him in their vehicle. Well, if you read that print article, you're gonna be as disgusted as me. It just shows you how idiotic these people that they have patrolling our streets pretending to be heroes are. And I ain't even got to them yet, so let me slow down and talk about these cowards who murdered this man. So after Scott allegedly ran them off the road, they began to pursue him in their vehicle. The key thing there is this dummy who murdered him, the one who shot him, he recorded phone calls after the incident just telling everybody that, yeah, we did this and the cops let us off the hook because we're friends. So when they pursued Scott, they claimed Scott pointed a gun out the window at them. And then they made sure to say that he was at a bar drinking before all this happened, the media and the police. Scott was, but what the hell? He's grown, he can drink. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean he was drunk, he was intoxicated, he was out of his senses and wits. But they say the guys who killed him, Scott pointed a gun at him during the pursuit. And so I don't know how they eventually stopped and got to the same place, but they did. And then Scott jumped out of his vehicle shooting at them. They shot back and murdered him. Scott was shot in the back, according to the coroner's report. Now, this is why I went through all of that. Not to tell you that, because I think you need to read the print article and find out the details that I'm missing for yourself. But they said Scott shot at them first. You know what nobody, including the Johnny, said? There were any bullets in their vehicle or anywhere near. They said they found a gun with the slide back on it, indicating that Scott had emptied the trigger shooting at them. I want to say this again. You know what nobody said, including the Johnnies who allegedly, I ain't finna say allegedly, I ain't no police, who didn't investigate this case. They just let their homeboys off the hook. They didn't say they found bullets any damn where near these cowards' truck or the area. I didn't get any witness interviews that said they seen Scott shooting at these guys, seen the shooting, seen Scott run them off the road or nothing. These cowards are from this area in South Carolina. Scott was from North Carolina. I don't know what he was doing over there. He was kicking. It don't matter what he was doing over there. He got a right to travel any way he want to travel in America. They murdered him. And then I went and I looked for Scott's picture because I want to see this guy. And the picture that I got, he is a hunting picture. He got on his camouflage. He's the hunting white guy. He got on the camouflage. It's probably that brand that all the hunting white guys wear. I think he's holding a deer or some animal. I don't know if he killed him. I don't know if he's just posing with it. I don't know. But I'm like, nah, Scott, you look like you'll carry a gun, big dog. But and what? And what? It's not illegal. And the fact that they murdered this man, shot him in the back, proves that hell most of us need to be carrying guns. I don't know why y'all pursued this dude and gunned him down. But my take on this situation, without knowing any damn thing about it, I don't think this was a situation where they planted this gun on this guy. And it very well could be that. I think Scott probably did have a weapon. And I think after they murdered him, for whatever reason, they probably went over there and shot his gun and emptied the damn trigger. Where are the shell casings? Where are the bullets? You mean he shot at a big ass truck, a guy who hunts, and he didn't hit nothing? That would show us he was there. He just missed everything, hit air. Come on, man, get this shit together, fam. I wanted to say, because I'm about to wrap this video up, because it got me pissed off, and I'm going to start stumbling and rambling and shit. I wanted to say I really like his sister, and you could tell she's married because she got 2 names, right? And I really like her, and if she wasn't married, I want to marry her ass. Y'all know I'm a fake Christian polygamist. But now I take it back, man. She was using some of the same rhetoric that you will find out if you read that print article that the government is using up there. They're calling for an investigation. Maybe y'all can help me understand this. But they're using Johnny rhetoric. They're talking about how much they support cops, and they hope the cops are online, and they hope the cops will do a thorough investigation, even though they've signed, what they call it, I can't even think of, a petition right now and send it to the governor saying this needs to be reopened. The attorney general needs to be investigated. The police officers need to be investigated. SLED is investigating right now. You know what they're not investigating? Scott's murder. They're investigating the police misconduct, like that dude saying, yo, or act like a victim. They're already on the scene telling them what to do. But all these people have already failed to investigate this situation right. Yet you got these senators and these congressmen, whoever the hell they are in that article, they've signed a petition begging for this case to be reopened. And I'm going to tell you who I really like, not the sister. But at the same time, they're using Johnny rhetoric like these media people be doing, these journalists do, and the sister. What do you mean it's starting to make you wonder if they're actually trying to clean their department or if they're just covering up more bullshit? Shorty, you're involved in why this case is getting a lot of attention again, like it should be. You know that's what they're doing. So why the are you using Johnny rhetoric? So who I really like? I like that true crime podcast person. I know a couple of them. I always drop the hints. I do true crime podcasts. I do other platforms. I know people like them. Some of them off their damn rockers and need to sit their ass down somewhere. But Shorty came back. She said, nah, fam, we're not doing that. How the hell we gonna trust the police when they acting like this? She didn't mince words. She didn't cut no corners. These motherfuckers cannot be trusted. I like her. And this is what I mean, maybe y'all can help me with. Why do people feel the need for political correctness in the face of such hostility, such violence, such disrespect? I don't know why. I'm not saying you got to jump out the window and start using profanity and be whoever Trailhand is or anybody else that just gets really, really crazy with it. But why do you feel the need to be politically correct? That's not how they're coming at you or us. Why can't you call it exactly what it is? Like I said, man, there was not as much detail as there is to know in this situation, but trust me, it couldn't be more clear. They were friends. The cops were friends with these 2 guys. These guys are business owners. They are huge Johnny supporters. Like, all of this is well known in that local area. One of the Johnnies who worked for the guy, he tried to call him to the scene when they killed homie. He said, no, I can't come out there. I said, look, it's going to look crazy. But what I'm going to do, and he did it the next day after the investigation they cleared him immediately, but they were still investigating whatever they investigated. He called the chief and the commissioner, whoever the hell he called, and then he called his buddy back and said, hey, big dog, don't worry about it. You good. Everything is under control. I'm done, man. And whatever I forgot to say, I just forgot to say it. This pissed me off. It's despicable. Ain't no way in hell this man should be dead. And yet he is. And y'all up there bullshitting about arresting the criminals who murdered him and the criminals who helped them get away with murder. You investigating police misconduct. That's party to a crime. There's a legal term for that is illegal. And it's not police misconduct. Shit got me so... Oh man, rest in peace, Scott Spivey. I'm Trailhand Bill on a very solemn again. The hell is up with Fridays, but beautiful Friday, man. Y'all look for that Tyree Nichols video and the Chad Mads video, and y'all be safe out there, man. And know who these cowards are. Protect yourself. Not just the ones in uniform, but the ones masquerading and parading around out of uniform that want to be them too. Y'all chase this man down. The other thing before I get out of here, in one of the recorded phone calls, the guy who actually shot Scott, he said, yo, we chasing him right now. He's scared as hell. But somehow you were the victim after you murdered him? This man needs justice. Americans need justice. And these cowards, man. These cowards, man. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.